Good afternoon, Board of Directors. My name is Nicholas Heron, and I'm the manager of the hotel's expansion and investment team. Today I'm going to be giving you a presentation of the hotel industry of Mexico. We're first going to start out with an attention step, followed by a comprehensive Pestle brief of the hotel industry in Mexico. After that, I'm going to share some opportunities and threats of the industry and sum up the entire presentation with my personal recommendation on what the hotel should do. So we are going to figure out, should the company expand its hotel operations to Mexico? The first part of the Pestle presentation encompasses the political environment of Mexico. Unfortunately, the government is a lot weaker there compared to the United States, and this is pretty apparent by vaccination rates and how that's going to affect the future of the hotel industry. We learned that where the current vaccination rates are low, cases are rising more quickly. The United States has a fully vaccinated population as of last week of 50%, while the Mexican population has only a 20% fully vaccinated rate. Now, the Mexican government has not been keeping up with vaccinating people, and as the Delta variant ramps up and continues to grow, their cases are going to grow exponentially, which could lead into more travel bans, lockdowns, hopefully not lockdowns, but at least a slowdown in travel to Mexico because of their proposed high rate of cases. Next is the economic sector. The hospitality industry in Mexico has steadily been growing. As you can see from this chart, we use data from 2016 to 2020. International tourism revenue grew by, on average, $1.5 billion each year from 2016 to 2019. I've omitted data from 2020, that's the red X, because I didn't find it necessary because it was a pandemic, and I think things are going to go back to normal pretty quickly. But as you can see, this revenue is forecasted to continue growing. The next is the socio-cultural aspect, and there's been a trend of people wanting to be more immersed in local culture, and they found that staying at Airbnbs give them a better feel for this rather than the traditional hotel. As you can see in this graph below, Airbnb booking rates are rising, and hotels are worried that it's taken away from their market share. Airbnb also fared really well over COVID, as guests felt that they had more safety and seclusion staying by themselves on a property by themselves rather than in a public place like a hotel with sharing public facilities. The next aspect of the Pestle brief goes over technology. Technology has changed a lot when it's come to marketing to hotels in the past 20 years, now that everybody has reviews from peers right at their fingertips. The hotel review industry has changed drastically, and it's giving people a lot more data and knowledge into how hotels are doing. So it's very important to have a good presence on the big travel websites, and it's going to be a key to operating profitably and having good booking rates in the modern day. The next is the legal system in Mexico. It's lacking far behind the United States, as it has a higher crime rate. We can see that the Mexican government has been unable to keep up with the rising crime rate down there. And as you can see in this graph, I listed intentional homicides. I thought that was a good metric to look at crime and how it's been rising or falling in Mexico. And as you can see, from 2014 to 2019, it was steadily increasing, which makes me believe that we could project that these crime rates will continue to increase. Next is the ecological factor. The drinking water in Mexico is not drinkable. It's contaminated, which turns off a lot of tourists from traveling there because they get sick. So that's something we need to look into. So the opportunities that Mexico has is it has a clear rising in travel. It's clearly rising in tourism dollars, especially for foreign tourism dollars. If we build a new hotel, we have a clean slate for online reviews, and that there are lots of commercial properties that are on the market because of COVID-19. The threats are the obvious governing body is weaker there, and especially how they're not keeping up with curbing COVID, and cases are forecasted to rise, and the water, as well as Airbnb. Although those are threats, we do have some remedies for them, which goes on to my recommendation that we should proceed onward with developing the hotel in Mexico. For the water problem, we can install on-site filtration systems. For the crime rate, there are a lot of cities that are well below the average crime rate in Mexico that are much safer than the average crime rate. For the pandemic, we can take it into our own hands and a little bit out of the Mexican government and apply increased sanitation methods. And as for the worry of Airbnb, the entire industry is getting more attention. There's more people going to Mexico. There's more money going into Mexico. So I believe that there's plenty of room for new hotels, just as there are plenty of room for new Airbnbs. Thank you so much. Have a good one.